Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. It's Tuesday, it's reset day, which of course means I'm about to tell you guys what is new in the world of Destiny this week. And of course the reset time has now changed. It will typically be somewhere between 5 or 6 PM UK time, that's around 10 AM Bungie time or Pacific time. However, today, in light of the most recent update that went live, the one that introduced Masterworks, then the server maintenance meant that the reset time was a little bit later. Normally this video will be live shortly after reset on a weekly basis, so starting from next week then expect it around 6 PM UK time, again 10 AM if you are Pacific. However, as always, if you guys do enjoy this, do find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. The Masterworks system is live. I will be doing a video going over what the Masterworks system is, so if you guys want to know more about that, then stay tuned. The video will be going live shortly after this one. But if we turn our attention to the usual reset stuff this week, first up you of course have your milestones. I have completed the heroic one already, so the heroic strike one. But of course on top of that you have Nightfall, Clan XP, Leviathan, Call to Arms. Your flashpoint is Mercury. Now, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work for those of you guys that don't have the Curse of Osiris DLC. I appreciate recently Bungie have made a few changes to try and revert some of the Curse of Osiris choices that restricted players from progressing in the game if they didn't necessarily have the DLC, so that seems like a bit of an odd choice, but for the time being, flashpoint is Mercury, and of course you also have your heroic strikes powerful engram as well. On top of that, if we then turn our attention to Brother VANCE himself, before we return to the usual stuff in the tower, if you did all of your Lost Prophecies last week, it seems there is a singular new one this week. I was under the impression there might have been 3 per week, so basically it would then last us 3 weeks, 4 weeks, give or take, depending on, of course, how long it takes you to get them and whether or not they'll be new each week. But if they are going to introduce just one each week, then it might well be they're trying to sort of drag this out a little bit longer. So for the time being, the one that's available is verse 10. This, for those of you guys wondering whether it's worth going after, this is for the sword. So I don't know the stats on it just yet, but this is for the sword item. And if you go and inspect what you need 3 of the advanced paradox amplifiers. These are the ones you get from Crucible matches and heroic adventures on Mercury. So for that one, as I mentioned in my previous video, Crucible is probably the easiest way to do this. You don't even need to win. You can just still get 1 or 2 of these if you win or lose a match. So just sit into matches, play through, and then gradually you'll get those. I'll start working towards them, so once I do have that, I will share that with you guys. As for your Nightfall this week, it is once again Savathun's Song. The modifier is Momentum, so health and shield regeneration stops when you are not moving, sprint to speed up regeneration, plus you have time warp anomalies, so basically look for the little Vex cubes to shoot them, and that will give you back your 30-second timer. We have seen Savathun's Song quite a bit recently, so not entirely sure what they're doing with that, but either way, that is your Nightfall this time round. Now, if we then turn our attention to the tower, something else you want to factor into your weekly rotation now is a look at the vendor gear. Now, bear in mind, on a weekly basis, the armor will be sold at all times. You can buy this at any point. If you're missing the armor pieces, you can grab these. However, the weapon is rotated on a weekly basis, and this week you can buy the Origin Story Auto Rifle. You need to claim 10 reward engrams to unlock it, but once you've done so, then you can grab this week. I don't know whether you'll need to unlock that on a weekly basis, i.e. buying 10 new engrams each time, or whether you can just do this once and then it's there. But either way, that's the weapon for this week from ZAVALA. And the same principle also applies for Lord SHAXX. This time around it is the Autumn Wind Pulse Rifle. Again, limited, and again, you must claim 10 reward engrams in order to unlock this as well. Turning your attention to TESS EVERIS in the EVERIS Trading Company, you of course have the Confused emote, the Dancey Dance emote. Sparrow is the Striped Abandon, the ship is the Sailing Shield. You have the Black Plague ornament for the Rat King. There's also a new ornament, the Catacombs, also again for the Rat King, which basically looks like a kind of more sort of stone version. It actually looks kind of cool, but either way, that's the additional ornament. You then have the class item for the new EVERIS armor set. You have the Captaincy Shell, the Guardian Pink Transmat Effect. You have the Freemius Blue shader, as well as a new Curse of Osiris shader, the Metallic Sunrise. And then on top of that, you have your Fire Team medallion, the usual one, plus 2 new medallions. The first one is the Gleaming Boon of the Vanguard. This one, when it's in use during a strike, all players receive an EVERIS gift at the end of the strike. Now, I've received a few of these gifts. Typically, it is a shader in a box. I don't know whether that varies too much, but I had 2 shader boxes back to back, and one of them gave me an old shader, one of them gave me a new one, so that is something else. And there is a similar version, the Gleaming Boon of the Crucible. Again, when this is in use during a Crucible match, same principle applies. You can of course visit Cade 6 to grab his treasure maps, and then finally you can head over to Ikora Ray for the meditations for Riptide, Utopia, and the Curse of Osiris mission, the Gateway. So, that is pretty much it for this week. The faction rally was postponed in light of, again, some of the recent changes and the recent update, the way they're trying to sort of bring things back to the players that couldn't necessarily access things if they didn't have the Curse of Osiris DLC, so they said there'll be more updates on that later on. That also applies to the Dawning that was supposed to be dropping at some point this month. They said on Thursday during the Bungie update we'll get more information on that, so I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop, because right now there are a few events that we expected to be coming and are just all up in the air. So once we get more details, I'll share it with you guys, but for the time being, that is the week in Destiny. Masterworks weapons can drop from legendary engrams, legendary sources, so whether that be vendors, whether that be strikes, crucible, etc. But they do seem to be pretty rare. But again, I'll go over the details on that one in the video coming very shortly. In the meantime, thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.